Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. It's Desiree. I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of the things that Rich and Rich Home Opportunities has been doing and a couple of things that we have in the future that we would also like to be doing. I feel like it's really important right now to be able to kind of create your own brand. And I know people talk about branding and it's important. And so it's one of the things that we're striving to do with my company. And a lot of the times it's kind of hard to narrow down, what you actually want to brand yourself with. What are you actually, good at? Because you can like to do, you can like to do a lot of different things. However, do you have the ability to do them and do them well to the point where you can actually turn it into a business that's worthy of people purchasing your product and carrying on that brand to pass it on, or, to do whatever you want to do to either expand it or not expand it. And I think that for us at Rich and Rich Home Opportunities, the biggest thing for me is always, and others, is to continue to expand. And so in order to be able to expand, you have to be able to do some things that might not be in your comfort zone normally. And so that might mean that you're going to outsource some of your, things that you would try to do to maintain your ability to sell and to be successful and to be able to still pay the bills and everything like that to keep your company running. And so that's one of the things that I have really, really focused on since the beginning of 2022, because of the fact that it took a long time for me to get my business from out of the black and to be back to where it's, more productive and growing and paying more attention to what some of the sales are, what some of the things are that people are buying or not buying, and how are we able to have things for our viewers, for our consumers that we feel like, that they would like. And so far we have been very successful with that. And for expansion for this year, it was really scary because we branched out into our international growth market. And it's not always easy because it's not always you're not always able to understand every facet of it. And one of our partners, we have a couple of partners that are in China, and we have our partner who is in Italy. And we're very grateful for the ability to be able to communicate by all of the social media, by WhatsApp, Skype, and then different other things that we have been doing to actually be a part of both a national and international market. And so that takes you have to be willing to, sometimes you may not understand, is to be able to get that understanding by translation or whatever it is that you may choose. And so for us, especially branching out to China, I was really scared about that one. But it's been a good partnership. And I think that a lot of times the only thing that kind of is the drawback a lot of times with China and any other international market is it's the shipping. How long is it going to take to ship? And, we've got a lot of things that are going on currently with pandemics and wars, other, illnesses that we're trying to deal with, outside of COVID. And so the supplies, I understand supply and demand, and I understand that it's, it's not the priority that you get your shoes in like 48 hours when somebody might need a respirator or something like that, or a medication to help them with a, possible terminal illness if they were not on the medication. So I know where the priorities lay, and I know where they should be. But it's hard to let your consumers know that and to understand that, because no matter what, even though we know that we have all these difficulties going on in the world right now, many people still want their stuff in 10, 15 minutes. So that's not reality, and it's not going to be the reality for Rich and Rich Home Opportunities because we know we can't do that. So we're not going to be making any of those promises. What we can promise you is that, you're going to get a product. If you don't like the product, you can always go back and, get your money back by returning the product. And a lot of people don't understand that returning part because I will have individuals that, the mail system is good most of the time, and the mail system will track that, that box, that package, and, the package has been left with the individual, or the individual was not at home, but it was a package that was able to be left, or they're asking them to do something in order to get their packages. And I don't know how many times, and that's good for tracking because you need to have your tracking, because I just go back onto our tracking and I can see everything that they're saying about this individual's package. And by everything that they're saying, that individual has that package. But they'll still come back and say, well, no, I've actually sent it back to you. And, okay, where's the tracking? So if they can't provide that to you or anything like that, or to my company, well, you're not going to get a refund. That's just not going to happen. So we've got a lot of people running a lot of scams, unfortunately, for business. And it has made it to where we have to be very, very leery, especially if we're trying to sell a high dollar item. And for me this year, one of the things that I started off with is I'm going to continue to do this because I do like the mobile food business. That is definitely something that's not in my comfort zone. Since I started doing it, I have gotten better. I understand more of what needs to actually happen for that product to shift internationally, coming from wherever the mobile truck or vehicle is coming from. There's a lot of things, a lot of pieces that fit into that. And when you sell those high dollar items, you have individuals that they pay, and some of them, you could sit and have a conversation, because this is a conversation I had with my potential person for one of our food truck vehicles, telling them about the 30 days that it would take, and, asking about customizations and everything that I should ask about. But they felt like, they were only going to be able to pay $1,500. And that's fine and good, but my vehicle wasn't $1,500. My vehicle was $2,900 and above. And the reason for that is because the shipping costs from a lot of different international places, along with the customs that you have to do, it's significantly more sometimes. And I mean, pretty much sometimes the shipping will keep me from even wanting to promote a product, because I can't really see that, I can't see anyone really being interested in getting the product. And if they are, they still want it, in under 30 days. That's reasonable. I can understand that. And if I can't do it, then there's no need to really be involved with doing that. But sometimes I've had, and I know that with our last truck that we actually sold, the person, I don't think it was even a week yet, 3 or 4 days, they were like doing a chargeback on my store. And I'm like, a chargeback? What are you charging back? And stated after 3 or 4 days, oh, I haven't received the item yet. Well, you already knew you were not going to receive that item, because you talked on the phone with me and everything, so you knew that. You also knew that $1,500 did not cover the cost of that vehicle and your shipping. You acted as if you understood that. So not only did the person not do any of that, but then they tried to buy a second vehicle and a third. And the second vehicle and third, of course, I wasn't having that, especially on the third. I said, I just sent the money right back. Said, you know what, this looks like you're part of the same group, and I don't want to entertain any more. I don't want to have you guys purchase any more from my company, because I think you need to be looking for something that, can kind of meet your needs. And so this has been a growing thing with the business, and I like it a whole lot. You're learning how to deal with, those times that it can be difficult, and and don't be afraid to give their money back. If someone is, because a lot of times we get these fraud alerts, meaning that person is using that card an awful lot, or there is unusual spending on that card. And so a lot of time our fraud detectors will detect that, and it'll say, you can go ahead and keep that money, but they don't think it's going to be real money, and they think that there's a possibility that person is going to come back for a chargeback, because the cards could be stolen or whatever. So the fraud alert things that you can get to help your business, utilize them, because I have to utilize them. And if they tell me and they say, we recommend you just go ahead and just refund the money back, guess what I'm doing these days? I just refund it back, because it's going to make me take a loss if I don't just refund the money, right up and just say, hey, I'm so sorry, but for whatever reason, our fraud alert says that this transaction is possibly not going to be okay. So we're just going to go ahead and refund your money. Really sorry about anything. Hopefully you'll be able to find, another product, that, will be able to meet your needs. And so having to be very honest and upfront with people it's a task. So one of the things for me that I have always loved, and so I'm enjoying this weekend, and I even got on here to do, I normally don't get on Blog Talk this late, but I was really excited about the fact of our shoe line because I have a shoe line, and yes, you had to actually apply for it. You had to be accepted, and based on what your goals are with your company. And I was very, very clear about my goals because one of the things is that I love fashion. I love beauty. I've always loved fashion, loved beauty, not because I'm a girl or anything like that. It's because fashion and beauty can just be in itself, a reliever of stress, of depression, can, give us those good endorphins that we need when we feel like we are looking our best. We tend to perform better and we feel better, and so we do things a little bit better. And so our clothing line is one of the things I really like. I don't have it all the way yet, but the shoe line, I'm very, very proud of it. Our shoe line is coming out of Italy, and it's by a group called Alive Shoes. They are international, national, and they also have their publications that they are able to get advertisement pieces into publications. I feel like I had a little bit of time, anything that you try for the first time, there's always a learning curve. So you have to, be aware of that and just know that, you kind of push on, because I probably could have been doing this a little bit earlier, but, I knew it was going to be new, and I knew I had to kind of learn it and just, sit there and do that. And so when I did, and I actually got on the site and started doing some things with it, the products are wonderful. Italy, they just have some of the, they have some of the better quality materials that you would like to have in your products because, there are times when things are purchased and they don't look like how they looked in a catalog because, maybe you were thinking it might have been suede or something, and maybe it's just, something that's polyester, and, it just really, it doesn't exactly look the same way that it looked in the magazine. And I know that happens because it's happened to me. And, and once I find out that, I don't necessarily not go to that company anymore, but I know that I want to pick and kind of choose, what type of products I'm going to buy, because at that same place, I've bought some wonderful things. I mean, so, you just have to do the shopping around and what you have to actually spend and what you need to be budgeting. And so our shoe line, I think, is great. I am very excited. I am going to be putting the line on eBay, and also I'm going to be putting it on our stores, our regular stores, and then Facebook and TikTok. And so I really think that this is going to be very interesting for me a lot. And a lot of times when I'm doing things, I love to bring, that information back to people that are my customers, my followers, because, it could strike maybe get you to be creative and say, hey, yeah, I was really thinking about doing this a while ago, and I really didn't do anything about it. So, it might give you the encouragement to take out some time and to actually look and see what things are available that you can be doing. And so I'm very excited about the shoe line. And of course, I'm going to be even more excited when my shoes are here, because yes, I am going to be promoting my shoes because I'm going to be the first one to get a pair. So needless to say, so far, I go ahead and I just go ahead and order it because I want to know how it feels, and I want to be able to talk about it. And then hopefully I'm able to do some video and things of that nature later on with our line. And so also we are going to do a lot more with point of service selling. And so basically doing vendors, but I don't want to just do vendors anywhere. I want to actually have events where I have a product and there's an event that's going on that's going to be beneficial for the person that's actually coming to the event and possibly purchasing a product that they can leave with that day. And so that takes a little bit more maneuvering because I don't really want inventory in my home at all. I don't want to manage all of that. And so with that being said, one of the things that I am having to look into is actually having a warehouse, which is, I think it's a good thing. And it's a good thing for a couple of reasons. it's a good thing because, I would like to know how how that inventory is moving, because I'm not usually, I'm not on the side with the inventory, with it going out. I just have the product there. I know how many numbers are there, and then we're doing it that way, but not actually physically, like laying eyes on the inventory so you can see it moving and how it moves, how it's coming in, when it needs to be replaced, and how are the people that you've hired to do this, how are they doing it? How do they make sure that the product is, it's going out smoothly with the tracking numbers that are needed? And so that's something more that, we will be building, because by doing that, we can also we can cut down on the shipping times also. So basically, what my plan is, I don't know how other people do it. My plan is to get my products, I already have my products lined up, and I just have to, I need the right warehouse right now to be able to, to be able to go forward and feel comfortable with it. And so we have eBay. I'm going to put it on Facebook, as well. One of the things about payment for me, if a consumer comes to my website, if they make a purchase, then I need to be going and making that purchase, getting all the shipping together, and getting that item out to my customer. Some of the platforms, unfortunately, they want to reimburse you later on. So meaning that you would have to come up with a lot of money on your own a lot of times to get these products out. And if you get chargebacks or anything like that, kind of your money, because basically the company platform hasn't given it to you yet. They're holding it for whatever, I know they hold it for the chargebacks or for any other thing that can foreseeably happen before they actually give you the money back. So if you're good with the reimbursing part of it and you don't have any issues, then you don't have any worries. But, I really feel like, hey, I don't have $1,000 or $2,000 just sitting around at home if that's what my consumer has decided that they want to buy for the day. And my platform that I'm utilizing to sell from is not going to give me that money for up to 60, 90 days. And so those type of things I have to really take into account. And so that's why I am purchasing everything myself, and I get to actually, I want to actually house it. I want to have my inventory. I want to be able to make sure that I can cut down on shipping costs and be more comfortable working both on a national and international level, as I'm still learning, because I don't know how to do every single thing that I need to do. But for me, the rewarding part is the ability to actually to do it, and to start, because someone told me I was saying something. They said, well, all it starts with is a thought. And so that I like that concept. All it starts with is a thought. And so if I'm thinking, I want to do a shoe line today, then there's the thought. Okay, now I get to working on it. What type of things do I need? What's out there that's available that I can get, a high quality product based on my design concept. So the shoe line and my purse line that is coming as well. The shoe line is probably going to be a lot more faster because of the fact that it is able to produce like that. And so those shoes and, the approvals, because they have to take a look at it. It has to match up with their quality line. And so you can't nothing is going to get by. It says, oh, well, I want this or whatever. And the wonderful thing about it is getting that feedback, because, it's almost like a mentorship where you are now being mentored to actually have your own shoe line. How awesome is that? And so you're doing that, and, you're looking at, you're getting better and better at it, because, you're listening to their feedback and you're thinking, I wanted to do something more. And then, sometimes in the beginning when you're doing something, you wanted to do something else, but maybe because of the computer or technology and not really knowing the right way to do it, maybe the first product is not going to always be your best product. So, but it's wonderful to get that feedback, because then you start to think about other things that can happen. And then, and when I'm asked now, oh, is there something else that you would like? And I said, one of the things I really like is just, that the design, not that design of the shoe has many different things, color, heel, high top, all of those factors. But for me, the thing that I want it to be mine, I want to brand it with, the type of design that I am doing, so that it is branded by my company. And my daughter, she's a wonderful artist. And one of the things that she has been doing is she has a lot of artwork that she has done. And so we're hoping that we're going to be able to include that along with the shoe line and everything. But I don't want it to be, it's going to be a little bit different because because of how her theme and how the titles and the type of passion that she has, where that creative, energy is taking her to. And I don't want to interrupt that because, I need to be willing to, do my own stuff and help along my daughter and make sure that, her creativity stays alive based on her individuality and what she feels like is creative, because that's really what it's about. And then, I think it's fun to be able to go back and kind of, as a family, be able to look at something and know that, this is part of this family, and it's, this is something that, we're not in the TV or anything like that. We're actually into, doing some of the business things or doing some of the other things that, we find pleasurable. So I am very excited to be with the L.L.C shoe line. I anticipate I would like to have a lot of shoes by the end of this year, and for myself. I always want a lot of shoes. That I always did. Now that they're my shoes under my brand, oh yeah, I pretty much want them, because now I'm like looking at them and I'm like, oh, I like this, I like that. Not, oh nope, I don't like that. But at the same time, when you're producing a product now, yeah, you have to take into into account your taste, what you like, but you also got to remember that you're not the only one you're hoping is going to buy the shoe. You're hoping that it's going to be someone else that has your taste. So you have to be able to step outside of that comfort zone once again and think about what would someone else like for this shoe. I could came out and just say, oh, I'm just going to be strictly women and just do this and, be all about heels or be all about tennis shoes and working out. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to do that kind of stuff, because I like to be able to be spontaneous and have just different things, because I know that if I'm not doing something different, I get bored, I get stagnant, and I won't continue to do it. And that's how I've always been. It doesn't take long to get bored, so I must keep my creative juices flowing. So I'll do this and do that for a little bit and then branch into something else and then go from there. So the shoe line is going to be the one that we are really promoting for it's going to be all the time. However, we want to get all of the shoes onto the different platforms. I want to get all of that done by tonight. And so I've been working on it all day. And so I'm going to be working on it probably a little bit more tonight. And then we'll, go ahead and get that product out to everyone. And then the purse line is going to be smaller, because the purses they take I'm not going to say that they take longer. I'm just going to say sometimes as you're working with with your concept and your design ideal, and you have your person that's going to be the one that's actually going to be producing the raw materials based on what it is that you want, leather, suede, whatever it is that you're doing, and so back and forth. So it's a back and forth with how you're going to be. Hey, is this what you were looking at, or was this what you're looking at? For me, I'm very big about my logo. I'm like, if it's on my purse, that logo, I need to be able to see that logo. That, because that's the only way I'm going to know that it's branded by me. That's the only way my consumers or my, customers or whoever else, that's the way they're going to buy. So if they can't see my logo, they don't know that that's my product. So, we've worked on that. And so the logo is one of the things that it's a big priority for me. And so when I'm working with my partners, they ask me about the logo, because it's going to depend on like what color scheme we got going on, material, all of those factors. And I'm still learning. So I'll say, hey, is it possible to do this? I don't just say, oh, I want it like this, and that's the end of it. No, I have no control over that, possibly, because I don't know if that ink is going to show up or if it's going to destroy some of that design based on what I think I want with the logo. So I just want the logo to be seen and to work within what my producers can actually do, with their material. So that I'm very, very aware of. And so I've gotten very lucky. I've got a wonderful person for the shoe line. I have a wonderful person. I have wonderful people out of Italy with, their ideals. And then I've had a couple more, times to actually look at, because I did, I'm looking at like the jewelry, because anybody that knows me, I kind of like my jewelry. And so, I really want to try to do something in that realm, and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do, because even though when you have these ideals, it takes money to make money. So when you're talking about, purchasing the raw materials and everything, and you look at the price of something, a lot of times the price is because of the fact that it's the material that's going into it. It's the man hours that are going into making that product. It's the shipping. There are so many things that are involved, that you think, oh, that's really, really expensive. And it probably is, but I'm a strong believer that you get what you paid for. Now, if you're only paying a certain amount of money for something, I don't really think you should be thinking that you're going to get, some quality you may lose out on, because of the fact that they probably would have to cut corners with the type of materials that they would have to use, and that would be based on your budget. So if you're telling them that your budget only does this, they can only do it so much, or they won't be able to do anything, and they'll just let you know that that's probably not going to work. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys. So it's the Rich and Rich Home Opportunities. It is our shoe line, compliments of our live shoes that has allowed us to be a part of their program. And I'm very, very proud, and I feel very, very lucky to be that way, because this is going to be the first time that, because I get the ability to not just have the concept for my shoe, but I even have the ability to design the box that it comes in. And I don't know how some people feel, but there are some times that the wrapping is so impressive. I really hate to tear the wrapping off. And, and so I usually end up keeping a lot of wrapping, just because I'm like, oh, that's what really struck me. And then you open up the, wrapper, and you're like, I'll just go back to looking at the wrapper. But anyway, needless to say, it's an ability to be able to actually design my boxes also. So that's where I believe that a lot of my creativity is going to go along with the shoe, because I want that shoe box to really stand for what that shoe stands for. And for me, it's all about being unique. So I'm going to end this segment of Blog Talk Radio. As my people that know me, they already know that I will be posting as much of the information as I can on social media. So I usually put it on YouTube, Facebook, of course, Blog Talk Radio, TikTok, and just our regular blogs. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday night, and have a great weekend, everyone.